everyone and welcome back to my channel today. I'm doing another book review and this time it is of Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas. This is the second in the Throne of Glass series and it's a fantasy novel. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I absolutely love this book. I have a full book review, full book video review of the first in this series, which is Throne of Glass, so I'll link that below. So if you've not seen that, go and check that out. But the Throne of Glass series follows an assassin called Selena Sardothian, and this book pretty much picks up where Throne of Glass left off. Selena is starting her, I guess, job, well not job, her work for the king, shall we say, and she starts to become faced with a lot of challenges and a lot of trials. From beginning to end, Crown of Midnight was full of action. Literally, as soon as you open the book, it's the first few pages, it's so action packed and it's just has had me guessing the entire way through. There were twists and turns that I just did not see coming whatsoever. I was like, whoa, blown away. Sarah J Maas had me on the edge of my seat the entire time reading Crown of Midnight. It was so good. I cannot recommend this series enough. Selena is definitely developed a lot more in this book. You find out so much more about Selena in this book, so much more about her past, about her history, about her ancestry, about who she is. You see so much development of her. You also see so much development of the male characters, the two male characters, Chaol and Dorian. One of my main issues with Throne of Glass was that they felt a little bit underdeveloped, and they were both developed a lot more in Crown of Midnight. This book just ramps it up, really. That's all I can say. It's just so action packed. It literally takes it to a new level. I gave this out of 5. I definitely feel like so far these books are just getting better and better. It's only the second one. I have started the third one, and it's so good so far. So I would definitely recommend, if you have not picked up Throne of Glass, the series in general, go and pick it up. If you have not, if you are waiting, you're feeling a bit unsure about Crown of Midnight, I cannot recommend getting it enough. It is, I kind of hate to say it, but it's, in my head, it's better than Throne of Glass. It just takes it to the next level. The magic in this one is developed and just shown in a completely new way. And I read this in like 3 or 4 days, and I read this around when I had my final deadline. Still did it in 3 or 4 days. It just kept me gripped. I could not put it down. I read like about 150 pages in an afternoon or about an evening, something like that. It is so good. I will leave a link to my full written review on Goodreads below. But that is the end of my non-spoiler part of this review. So if you haven't read this book, go and read Crown of Midnight. I cannot recommend this enough. If you haven't read Throne of Glass, go read Throne of Glass, watch that review, then read Crown of Midnight and watch this review, then you can come and watch this review. Because this series is so good, especially if you want a really kick-ass female protagonist, then the Throne of Glass series and Crown of Midnight are definitely for you. So now on to the spoilery section of my review of Crown of Midnight. This book had me blown out of the water. Like, as I said, there were just twists and turns in this which I did not see coming. As I said in my review for Throne of Glass, the love triangle is not my favourite. I'm not really a fan of love triangles anyway, and in this book it definitely ramped up because the tagline is crowned by evil, bound by duty, divided by love. So it's obvious that the love triangle was definitely going to sort of be more developed and more looked into, and it was. I'm kind of glad that she did pick in the end, because obviously she picked Chaol. But then obviously about halfway through that relationship semi-dies a bit of a death, and that made me a bit sad. I don't know how many. Part of me thinks this is going to be a 4-part series, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I've just made that off my head or if I've actually read that somewhere, but I kind of just want her to end up with Chaol or Dorian, and for that to just be like a lasting thing, not to be a like 100-page thing and then something happens and she's not friends with them anymore. It's like, yeah, I want her to pick. I'm kind of glad she did in this, and I feel like her picking Chaol in this has left room, especially with the way it ended, has left room and space for her to then go back to that, which I'm kind of hoping she does, but that part of me just like, you know what, she'll end up with Dorian, won't she? Part of me just has a sneaking suspicion, but we shall see. Another thing which did not see coming was Nehemia. Nehemia, she died, like what? Oh, I did not see that coming. Nehemia was one of my favourite characters. One thing that I just loved about Throne of Glass and kind of Midnight is the kick-ass female characters, that they are up there with the males. They are not below them. They are just as kick-ass, just as amazing. And we lost one, and that made me really, really sad. The people that killed her, because obviously you think it's one of the councilmen, and then it turned out it was Archer. I was like, what? I did not see that coming whatsoever. Did not see it that it was like actually the people that she was meant to be helping in the end just decided they had enough of her. Did not see that coming at all. I kind of loved that, and loved that in the end Selena just took him out and was just like, you know what, you killed my friend, you lied to me, you disobeyed, you took my trust too far, and just took him out. I was just really sad that Nehemia died. I loved her character. I loved how strong she was. I really wanted to, a part of me really wanted her and Dorian, I'm not gonna lie. I think that would have been an interesting ship, an interesting pairing. Obviously that's not going to happen anymore because she's dead. So, the end of this book, it is leading up to the big reveal throughout the entire of Crown of Midnight. And in the end, Chaol figures it out. Selena Sardothien is the lost heir of Terrasen. What? Part of me guessed about halfway through from some of the things that were being said, some things that happened even before the scene in the other world, or in the other realm when she opens the portal. I sort of had a sneaking suspicion that she was Fae, and then that happened and she was Fae, and then after that it was more of a, okay, she probably is. And then, is it like the last page? Yeah, the last page. Selena Sardothien was Aelin Ashriver Garthanius, heir to the throne and rightful queen of Terrasen. Selena was the lost queen of Terrasen. Chaol sank to his knees. Like, yeah, halfway through I had a sneaking suspicion about who she was. And then the scene in the portal happened and turns out she's Fae. And then you get to the end of the book and Chaol finally figures it out. I kind of saw that coming, but at the same time I was like, oh, this just ramps it up even more. I just loved that. I loved that it just adds a whole new element to the world and to the story. And I was especially looking forward to how that is now going to sort of lead into Hour of Fire, which, if you can see behind there, is on this little bookshelf that I've kind of created for myself. I'm about 5-6 chapters in, and it's great so far. But the revelation has definitely been leading into future events in the story, which I'm really excited about. So as I said, overall I loved this book. 5 out of 5 stars. Cannot sing this Crown of Midnight's praises enough. Loved it more than Throne of Glass. This series is quickly becoming one of my absolute favourites. I just cannot get enough of this. So if you have any thoughts about this, let me know in the comments. I'd love to have a chat with you guys about what you thought, about which bits you liked, which bits you didn't, which bits shocked you, which bits didn't. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, let me know your comments, let me know what you thought about what I thought. Just let me know. Let's have a chat about this. If you need any more convincing that you need to pick this series up, again, I said I will link my Goodreads page in the description box below. And hopefully very soon I will be with you with a Hour of Fire review. This book is massive, but I'm 6 chapters in and I'm getting through that pretty quickly. So hopefully that will be up very soon. So make sure you're following me on Goodreads to see my little updates. So that, as I said, always link in the down bar. And if you have any requests for videos, let me know. And if you've got any book reviews of anything that is similar to Crown of Midnight, Throne of Glass, that sort of thing, let me know, because I'm loving this sort of fantasy world at the minute. So if you have any recommendations, pop them in the comments. I would love to know, because as you can see from the background, I'm somewhere a bit different. I am now home. I've finished uni for the year. until October, so I have got all summer to be reading apart from like 3 or 4 weeks where I'm interning. So if you've got any book reviews or any book reviews, link them to me, let me know your recommendations. I will also be doing some uni thoughts, my uni experience sort of videos, so if you have any requests to do with uni, to do my experience, to tips from someone that's just finished their first year, again let me know in the comments and I'll try and get those up. Remember to like and subscribe if you did enjoy this, and I shall see you soon guys. Bye.